Okay, I'd like to call the Clarkson Independence District Library Board of Trustees meeting for July 11, 2016 to order at 5:50.
Yep.
Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Jan Gaffney.
Here.
Michelle Gann.
Here.
Dan Green.
Here.
Mary Hemberg.
Here.
Sally Lamb.
Here.
Allison McFadden Kiesling.
Here.
Marilyn Pomeroy.
Here.
Julie Meredith here.
All right. I'll accept a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Allison.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Any comments or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay? Motion carried. Call to the public.
Well, since Friends hasn't met since your last meeting, I have nothing to report. We will be meeting on Wednesday, however.
Okay,
Thank you.
so we're looking forward to your last projects have been fine, so,
Everything's going well.
all right, thank you. I'll accept a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
There's a tie over there.
Who's second? Who's second?
Either one of us. It was a tie. Give it to Mickey.
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Now, the library statistics, which are in front of us on the table.
You have the June statistics. The first 3 pages are as you are accustomed to seeing them. But then there are 2 pages of statistics. Christina Bowers and Bill Bowman are working on more interesting ways to present statistics. So the summer reading kickoff party statistics, which is this one with the little blue. That's Kevin, the little guy on there, is our mascot this summer. It's telling you the difference between transactions, items checked out, and the people counter on the night of the summer reading kickoff. So transactions were significantly higher, from just over 1,500 to just under 2,500. Items checked out, same thing, and then our people counter was up significantly as well. I believe that Bill told me we had 672 people that evening.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Yes, so that was very exciting. And then the other one is the Imagine That Teen Art Show. We had 514 people this year. That's down a little from the 668 last year. What we did discover was that this year the art show fell during the week of a class trip to Washington, D.C. that happens every other year. So she's going to try and not hit that week next year. Well,
Next year will be all right, but it'll
to permanently get out from that week so that we don't have that problem. But there were a bunch of people that were disappointed that they didn't want to, after their work, that they weren't going to be here to
Well, no, that's
see it
understandable.
in the art show. And yeah, so that was still 514 is a lot of people. It was a great event. Came out really good. So.
Yes, and every year I think it's more attractively arranged. So every year
It improves.
it improves.
Yep, it does. We learn a little bit more about how to do it.
That's right. Okay, the library director's report.
Okay, building and grounds. We are in the final stages of phase 2 of the library's parking lot reconstruction project. The new walkway lighting has been installed. We do have one fixture that isn't lighting properly, but Allied has contacted the manufacturer and will be taking care of that soon. It's not a real big deal at this point because it's not really dark when we close yet, so I'm not real worried yet. There will be a crosswalk added from the main entrance to the stairway in the parking lot island, so that's coming. We are still watering the new sod morning and evening to ensure that it takes hold properly. It's looking very good. So we're pleased about that, but we do apologize to any patrons that are having to walk around the sprinklers to keep from getting misted, and it does kind of have to happen during the day, and anyway, so we apologize for that. The columns are almost complete. There are some issues with the footings that Allied will be taking care of in the coming weeks, but they look nice.
They do.
Yes, so there's just some little things, some little details at the bottom they're going to take care of. In terms of project updates, Roots to Fruits completed the installation of the new garden on the southeast wall of the library. It looks great, and we thank the Clarkson Farm and Garden Club for sponsoring this project. Thanks to a grant provided by Michigan Collaborative for Library Services, the library is using the Harwood Institute's Community Conversations techniques as part of our strategic planning process. We are in the process of finalizing dates to conduct community conversations with the City Council, members of the business community, civic leaders, and seniors. Community conversations will be conducted from now until the end of the year for residents of Clarkston and Independence Township, so we have several of those that will be scheduled and coming up. I'm going to hold off on Hoopla because I want to show that one to you on the computer screen. Earlier in the year, we discussed working on a formal agreement between the library and the Friends of the Library. This is something that was recommended by our library law specialist for the benefit of both entities. Our attorney has provided a basic draft that is commonly used by other libraries. I'll be distributing it this evening to the library board members and also to the Friends of the Library board members at their meeting on Wednesday, so that everyone can look at it and review it. It's not in your packet right now. I'll hand it to you before you go home so that you can take a look at it and give any feedback. The 8th annual Teen Art Show, you know what, I'm going to go up and show this to you on the screen as well. Two things I can show you on the screen tonight. The 8th annual Teen Art Show was a huge success, featuring 89 pieces of art, and 514 people attended the show. First, second, and third place prizes were awarded through public voting in each of the 4 age categories. New this year, we had 4 special awards based on artistic medium selected by a panel of judges. Winning pieces were displayed in the library for 2 weeks and can still be seen in the Imagine That Teen Art Show link under the Teen tab. So here's the Teen tab. And you can click on Imagine That Teen Art Show. We have a thank you to all of our sponsors. We had a wonderful list of sponsors, including the Friends of the Library right there at the top, but a number of other sponsors as well. And then we have images of all of the art that won. So you can go in and take a look at that. We would like to thank, congratulations to all of our artists, and we would like to thank these talented teams for sharing their work, our hardworking staff and volunteers for making this show possible, and the Friends of the Library and our generous sponsors for funding this event. So, let's give everybody a chance to look at that.
I thought one item that was really nice was the fact that every artwork was displayed on the big screen during the night, and that was very attractive.
That was really neat. I thought that was a very clever idea. So that worked out really, really well. Okay, so on July 1st, my other piece of information I wanted to show you from the screen tonight. On July 1st, the library launched a new service called Hoopla. This is an online downloadable service specializing in ebooks, audiobooks, music, movies, and comic books. Patrons create an account using their library cards and are able to access a collection of over 400,000 items. These items are always available. There are no waiting lists. Currently, patrons may check out up to 5 items per month using this service. You can reach the link from the front page of the library's website. So go to... There it is on the front page of our website. Or by using, from the top, if you go to online resources where it says ebooks and digital media, that gets you to both Overdrive, which many of you are already familiar with, and Hoopla. Okay, so here is Hoopla. It's really easy to join Hoopla. All you do is click on Login. If you do not already have an account, if you're new to Hoopla, you click on Sign Up Now. It will ask you to use your email address, create a password, and it will ask you for your Clarkston Independence District Library card, and it will verify that you are a user, and it will create an account. It's as simple as that. And then from there, I already have an account, so I can show you mine. So from this point, it will show things that are being featured on the front page, but if you were interested in audiobooks or movies, you can click on Browse All, and it will show you everything that they have. You can look under recommended, featured, popular, genres, collections. But the really nice thing is, from any of these screens where you see these items, if there's something on here that you wanted to check out, you just click on it. And where it says borrow, you click borrow, it will immediately check it out to you, and you can download it to your device. If you want to use a mobile device, you can get the app. I think it was on the front page. Yes. At the bottom. Oh, we do have it on our website though as well that shows you how to get to the app. Oops, that's my other thing. I've got it. Oh, no, I must be on this one. Oh, it's at the bottom of the page. It must be before you log in. If you go into the login screen, it shows the three main apps. Or you can go on to whatever store you use to buy, Google Store or whatever you use, iStore, to get your apps and download it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's great.
Any questions?
How long does it check out for? How long is the?
It checks out the same as our books do. So a book is 3 weeks, a movie is a week, a music is, oh, sorry, movie is 3 days. I'm sorry. Movie is 3 days, music is a week is what I meant to say.
Okay.
So.
And then it just disappears.
And it just
after that.
disappears, yeah. So, and as you're reading it, it tells you how much longer you have left when you open it. It counts the days down. So it 21 days, 20 days, 19 days. You can pace your reading to make sure you get done in time. Any questions? Oh, very good. I hope you all go in and try it.
I can guarantee you that I will be
All right,
And that's everything that's on my report.
thank you. Any questions or comments? If not, we're going to move to regular business. Item number 1 is the review of the agreement regarding negative cash.
In 2015, the Township Finance Director contacted the Library Director regarding an amount of money they believed was an erroneous transfer to the library in 2012 during the separation of the library from the Township. The attached agreement is the proposed resolution of that negative cash issue. In terms of legal review, this issue was reviewed and discussed by the library's Director, Treasurer, and President with the library's accountant and auditor. This agreement was drafted by the library's attorney and has been reviewed by the Township's attorney. Once it has been approved by the library board, it will go to the Township Board for their approval prior to signatures and execution.
And then we're done.
Hope so.
No, that was a question.
Okay.
And I hope so too. It appears on the surface that we will be done.
Yes, and the resolution of the negative cash is also attached to the completion of the OPEB contract, that this has to be completed, and then that will be completed as well. And you'll notice in the agreement on page 2, number 3, the final resolution and complete separation does refer to that. Both the execution of the agreement regarding negative cash and the execution of the agreement regarding retiree health care funding will complete the final separation of the township from the library.
Okay. It's been a long process.
It has been a long process.
Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the agreement regarding negative cash as presented, authorize the library board president to sign the agreement, and authorize the library director to execute the fund transfer subject to the approval of the board of the Charter Township of Independence.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the agreement regarding negative cash as presented.
I'd like to thank everybody at this time that worked on this.
Yes,
It took a lot of time, and it sometimes seemed like you're not making any progress in the discussions, so we really appreciate it.
I agree.
I second that too.
Any other comments or questions? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Yes.
I will say that.
Okay, number 2, we're going to talk about permission to close for a staff training day with plenty of advance notice.
In the past, the library closed to the public one day each year for the purpose of a staff and service training. When the budget was extremely tight, we were forced to forego this practice. We would like to reinstate this continuing education opportunity for all staff to provide better service to our community. The Libraries Department heads are working with the director to develop a full agenda of learning, including a review of safety practices, technology training on our integrated library system Polaris, and new databases, a discussion to streamline communication practices among staff, and individual department meetings to address specific training needs. The proposed date to close is Friday, October 7th, 2016. We already have an all-staff meeting scheduled for that day, so staff already anticipated that commitment. There are no programs on that date, and there is ample time to notify the public. Okay.
I move that we approve the library closure on Friday, October 7th, 2016 for the purpose of a staff training day.
A second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve permission to close for staff training day on Friday, October 7th. Yes, Patrick? Dan?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
If we establish the open mic that we were going to do for Fridays in the fall,
Yep.
will this affect that?
It shouldn't, there's nothing that was scheduled that evening,
Okay.
so that must be a different evening. That was the first thing we looked at, was we made sure there were no programs scheduled that night. So,
Okay, good question.
that was an excellent question, thank you for checking.
Okay, any other questions? All right. All those in favor of permission to close for staff training day on Friday, October 7th, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Okay, number 3, discussion of Community Information Network website update.
Okay, so the Community Information Network, up on the screen. This is something that was created in the early 90s. It was a grant, and it was developed technologically by Bill and Sue Basinger. The website was actually built in 1994. So it's a very historic website. And it is raw HTML. So if you can imagine, it's working fine on my computer so that I can show you around, and I will do so. But it is not very friendly to modern digital mobile devices. So what you have in your packet, there is a committee made up of library staff. Mr. Basinger is on that committee. Cara Catello from the Historic District Commission. David Beal, who's interested in the possibility of this down the road becoming an app. Carol Eberhardt, who's the city manager. There are a number of us on the committee, including Bill Bowman, our IT coordinator, and also Steve Heyer, who owns IGD Solutions, and his assistant, William. We are all looking at this website and trying to figure out how to transition it to the modern day. So I asked IGD Solutions to create a proposal of the cost to basically transition it to a modern platform, and then also a proposal how much it would be to also develop an app. So to give you an idea of the magnitude of what's on this site, if you go onto this website, it's on our page under community information. And this is the Community Information Network. Click on the Clarkson's Historic District. One of the things that is one of my favorite parts of it is the Historic District walking tour. And you can go to, let's go to North Main Street. And you have to wait for a few seconds while it decides it's going to do what it needs to do. That's not our internet being slow, that's just the website needs some updating. If you tell it to begin the walking tour, it will take you on to North Main Street, and it will go property by property. So here we are at 11 North Main with all of the associated information about 11 North Main. 21 North Main, that's the Clarkson Country Store. 33 Stream. 43, 49, 55. So you can work your way down the street. We'll stop at 71 North Main, that's the Clark House. So as you can see, there's lots of information about the site. There's additional supporting photos regarding the architecture and interesting points about it. There's also a history of who owned the property, its value at various points in time, anywhere from $350 on up. Yes. It also has links within it to take you to information about architecture. So this is what really was a labor of love by the Basingers. And my worry is if we don't do something soon, it will be technologically impossible to save. So IGD is interested from two levels. Of course, they're a business, but they are also a local business. And we felt that they were a really good group to work with in terms of getting this done. There are two proposals in front of you. The first proposal is basically to rescue the website for $6,500, to transition all of this content into a very similar format, but a modern format that would be much more accessible, easier to use on mobile devices, that sort of thing.
Which is what you'd use it for.
Which is what you would use it for.
Good walking around.
The other thing that we would like to do during that period is create different levels. This is heavy data for your average person visiting Clarkston, let's say. You come in to have dinner in town, and while you're waiting for your table, you want to look around, and you pull out your phone and you start to, this is a lot of heavy data. So we would like to see three levels. We would like to see the digging into it sort of data for the people who own those houses, or maybe have purchased the house recently and want to know the history of it. We would like a little bit lighter version and a more abridged version for people who are just curious about the house, or whatever the property is, the stream, or whatever, and want to read up a little bit more. We would also like to have a kid-friendly version, because the second graders, it is part of their curriculum to do local history, and they do take a tour of downtown. And we think it would be fabulous if they could have this easily accessible at their fingertips to support that tour downtown. And they often, they also come to the library and visit the museum and some of those other things, and see the resources we have for the library. So we got this proposal to do the website, but then we were also considering the possibility of an app. The app is much more expensive. I think at this point, my priority would be to rescue the website first and develop the app later. I've been talking to a number of people in the community that feel that we could probably, the committee might be able to talk to businesses and civic organizations who might help us fund that app. But I think it's the library's responsibility, since it was part of a grant that we received back in the 90s, that we be respectful of what we've created and sustain it. So my recommendation to the board would be to fund the rescuing of the website, part one, option one of that proposal, and that you allow myself to go back to the committee and say, we're interested in doing the app, what are our options to try and fund it? Because I think that's an awful lot for us to fund right out of the gate. So.
Makes excellent sense.
It does, and you know, if we can get certain people, businesses in the community, and groups in the community to do part of it, and
But we definitely do not want to lose this
absolutely
resource.
not.
No, there was so much work that was put into it, and we're struggling a little bit because there's sort of a want to keep it the same, but then again, it needs to have a more modern look in order to get the kids excited. So that's why we're sort of looking at three different levels. We're looking at the level for the Historic District Commission, because they do use this data for their work. But then we're looking at it in terms of just the casual user, or for children. We would like to have a kid-friendly version, and we'd like to work with the Historical Society on the kid piece of it as
And
well.
is that all included in the 6,500? The three versions?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. They actually gave us a mock-up, and the mock-up has, I don't remember the wording, but there's a wording that's basically for, the front page will introduce you and say, for homeowners and researchers, for visitors, and then for kids.
And what part of the budget would this be?
This would be something that we would have to take out of fund balance and transfer the funds. This would be an investment, something that we would have to dip into as a project. Which is why I wasn't sure if the board would want to do it at this time or wait.
$25 monthly fee, which is says for updating the website content is optional. Would the website really be updated that frequently? What would be the cost if we paid as needed to have the website?
I think that that part of it we would still need to negotiate out. I think Bill wants to sit down with IGD Solutions and talk about the specifics of what we need.
Okay.
We're asking for a budget to do part one, but if the kinds of things they're referring to are the kinds of things that Bill and Connor can do, then we would take that part out.
We could take that part out.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. But we've been the committee's been working on this for several months, and I would like to be able to sit down with them and say, the board has given us a budget to move this forward. I think it would speed the process along. We're a little bit stuck in discussions of how we want it to look, and I think if, not only if IGD Solutions knew we were serious about taking it forward, but also the committee knows that that piece of it is funded, I think it would go a little more smoothly. So, it's all been sort of abstract conversation up until this point.
Well, since we're sitting in a room filled with pictures of Clarkston, we should follow that. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Didn't really give you any coaching.
I'm sorry.
So we're kind of looking at the,
I move to approve the IGD Solutions proposal, Part A and Part B, to establish, to renew, upgrade the website.
Friendly amendment. I would say not B, because I don't know that we want Part B, right? The monthly fee.
Well, there's a one-time total there
Wouldn't that be to
too.
be part of that?
Sorry.
If we did A, wouldn't we really actually need to do B also?
So just A.
question for our director.
I think we would go with, I think it would be safe to say go with the $6,500, and if we feel that, just that first part, that one time,
Okay,
will
so
that
we
be
would not
A? And if there's
really
anything more that we
need
need,
other
we'll
than-
come back and talk to you about it, but I suspect that those are
Okay,
all
I
things
thought-
that Bill and Connor can
I thought
probably
with the
do.
domain name and that we actually needed to do that part also.
Okay, let's see if we have the proposal, the initial proposal.
With only,
You want to give it a try, or you want Mickey to rephrase it?
All I have is, oh dear, move to approve the IDG proposal, Part A, to establish, and that's all I have,
it would be to upgrade the website.
to upgrade the website. Okay.
What are we actually calling this
It's
website?
the community information website,
Community
CIN.
Information, okay.
The Community
Yeah.
Information Website.
Okay.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay,
Dan got in there.
Okay, Dan.
Something like a battle
I
for second.
just,
I know.
All right, that was very clear. So read it back to us one more
Okay.
time.
Move to approve the IDG proposal.
IGD.
IGD.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Proposal Part A, to upgrade the Community Information Network
Website.
website. Okay.
For $6,500.
Okay,
Does that sound correct?
okay, got it.
Okay, any comments or questions? It was very well
it
presented.
was,
I think we're very clear on that.
I think we are. I do have a question on Part B. Let me get to that part. Is that something, the hosting in that we could actually do through the library's website?
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, Bill. It's right here. They're not going to be hosting it outside, are they? Or did you want to host it outside? Let's negotiate out that part and come back. Okay. Bill and I think that we need to negotiate out if we're going to host it internally or externally, and we'll come back if we need
Okay,
that.
so that hasn't
funding.
really been.
It's going to be a little while before we get to that point, I think.
Okay.
So we're really
right now we're
dealing
going
at the
to
moment with
Part-
the upgrade of
Yep.
the website to retrieve, to save the information so it isn't lost
Yep,
in 3 formats:
yes.
Right.
in-depth, visitor, and kid. right? All right. Any other comments or questions? If not, all those in favor of funding $6,500 for this purpose, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried.
We will need a budget adjustment. So we need a budget adjustment to go from fund balance to 818 professional and contract services. 818. Yep. Thought it'd be easier to do it as a separate one. Because that first meeting was getting kind of long and unwieldy.
You're going to move it from fund balance to what was the account?
818 professional and contract services.
I move that we move $6,500 from fund balance to line item 818, special
Professional and contract
professional
services.
and contract services.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we move the fund balance, from fund balance to 818 to fund this project that we just approved. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay? Motion is carried. So we have an A and B for number 3.
It does look like there'll be actually 4 entry points, visitors view, and homeowners.
So we have 3 levels. Is that everybody clear on that then? All right, we'll move to number 4.
It's all the same money.
Review of the irrigation reconstruction and budget adjustment for that item. By the way, I had a question about that. Is the very dry area on the outside of the,
We don't have irrigation
to
over
there?
there.
Okay,
No,
Okay.
a large portion of that is easement. As soon as the rain comes, it'll be okay.
yes.
We were hand watering and it just got to the point where we were leaving those sprinklers on all day and it just wasn't making a dent, so. As part of phase 2 of the library's parking lot reconstruction project, it was anticipated that the irrigation system would need significant alterations and repairs. It would have been extremely difficult to anticipate the magnitude of this part of the project because the as-built plan for the irrigation system from 1992 is not particularly accurate. We were unsure how lines and electrical might need to be altered to accommodate the new handicap parking, the larger ramp in the island, and the improved walkway near the original handicap parking spaces. Nature's Rain has maintained the library's irrigation system for many years and was included as part of the contractor team for phase 2 of the parking lot project to provide them with as much additional knowledge as possible while the lines were exposed. They were on site at various stages of the project to make some corrective repairs along the way. At the completion of the asphalt and concrete work, there was a great deal of irrigation work to be done. That's putting it mildly, actually.
Yes.
Nature's Rain worked as quickly as possible to restore the system to ensure the new sod would be properly watered. Since the work was not complete in time for the June meeting, the board discussed and agreed to make an initial payment to Nature's Rain in June for the work they had done to that point, with the understanding that the full project cost and a request for an appropriate budget adjustment would be presented at the July meeting. The final invoices for this project are included in the packet. The total project cost was $7,437, so a budget adjustment in that amount to line item 931, building and grounds maintenance, will be needed. The funding will need to come from fund balance. During the library's 2015 audit, it was shown that $170,000 went into fund balance last year, so our fund balance is healthy.
Is significant, is enough.
And part of that 7,000 number has been paid.
Well, it has been paid, but
But it's
using
not-
money that was already earmarked for something else, so we need to put the entire amount in the budget, yep. Or we're gonna end up over budget before the end of the year. Any questions? You can see from the invoices, the number of pieces and parts and work that went into this project. It was significant.
I saw them knee-deep in water.
Mark and
Yeah, I did
Charlie
too.
put in a lot of work out there, yes, and on the hottest days of the summer.
So far.
So far.
Yeah, so far.
It's only July.
We're gonna hope.
Let's keep our
We're gonna
fingers
get any
crossed.
hotter than that.
I will accept a motion on this item.
I move that we approve a budget adjustment of $7,437 from fund balance to line item 931 to accommodate the cost of the irrigation system reconstruction by Nature's Rain.
Second? Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve a budget adjustment of $7,437 from fund balance to line item 931 to accommodate the cost of the irrigation system reconstruction by Nature's Rain. Any comments or questions? If not, all those in favor of this budget adjustment, please say aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, please say nay. Motion passes. Thank you. And number 5.
Last but not least.
Last, yes.
During the concrete work of Phase 2 of the parking lot reconstruction project, the structural slab was not poured for our engineer's board-approved design. The engineer and the contractor have negotiated a plan to redo the area in question. You will find that as a handout that came, you received it in your email after the packet, and then as a handout is in front of you. In the meantime, the engineer is recommending a partial payment to the contractor for work that is correctly executed. A letter to this effect is attached, and the contractor will be providing a written document of the negotiation, which is indeed included. And it says and an invoice, but when I talked to Albert, who is our engineer, he said the letter is instead of receiving the invoice, the letter that states that he is requesting a payment, payment number 1, of $108,450.27. They will send us a separate invoice, but.
They will agree to make the improvements.
And that was, that was part of the,
That's the item we have in front of us.
yep, the letter from ASI and the letter from Gretzky Construction, they are stating that they understand that the slab is not done per spec and that they will redo it at a time that is agreeable based on when the library can be closed for that length of time. We are currently negotiating Labor Day weekend because the library will be closed 3 days. But I think it doesn't commit to that in here, and I think it's because of they're going to have to make that decision based on weather. So they're not going to say we're definitely doing it that weekend and then find out that they can't because of the weather for whatever reason.
But that's the goal.
But that's the goal, yeah. That they would do it while we're already closed, so we wouldn't have any additional closures.
And they really need 2 days, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
According
they
to
do.
what you're saying.
Because they'll have to, well, in this particular situation, they're going to have to, in his words, he said, break it out by hand. I don't suspect that they're going to be doing it by hand exactly, but they will have to haul it out by hand in wheelbarrows essentially because they have to take out
That section
the whole section
and make it thicker.
and make it thicker.
But it says in their letter, our plan is to complete the repair in 1 day.
That's the actual, essentially what it's going to be is they will frame it and then they will pour it,
Gotcha.
which I think is actually they're saying in a day, but I think it's actually a 2-day process.
It has to set.
And it has to set, yep, and that's what the closure is for. The work will probably be done in 1 day, but
Sure.
because it's such a deep slab, that's why we had to close the extra days to do it originally. Because they didn't want to do it on Memorial Day weekend, they wanted to do it the 2 days before and then get it all of the weekend to cure. So I suspect what they're going to try and do this time is the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend and then Sunday and Monday.
Sure. Labor Day, yeah.
On Labor Day, sorry.
Is that clear?
Yes.
It would have been nice if it had been done
Yes.
the first time, but
Didn't work out that
if
way.
it didn't work out that way, but at least it was identified and the plan to rectify is in place.
Right.
I'll accept a motion.
I move to approve the plan to resolve the issue with the structural slab and approve pay request number 1 from Asphalt Specialist, Inc. as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we make pay request number 1 because the plan will fix the problem. Okay, any other comments or questions?
If you want me to clarify, the amount that's being withheld, the entire project is actually $115,000 and we're only paying $108 because they have some pieces to clean up per Albert's requirements and then the structural slab that will be paid for until, I want to make that clear to the public, that that's the reason the first pay request is only $108 but the entire project is $115. So they're withholding the amount that is not done correctly until after it's been corrected.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Clarification's always good. All right, if there are no other comments or questions, Let us vote. Those in favor of approving the plan to resolve the issue and approve pay request number 1, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Thank you. At this time, I will accept a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Okay, guys. So who's first?
Dan is first this time,
Okay.
and Mary is second.
Thank you.
There are no comments. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 6:30. Thank you, everyone.
That was a lot.